everything, yeah. My everything is you, Lord. Yeah. Ha ha. Oh, 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 oh. Everybody say, ah. How can I express my gratitude for all the many things you've done for me? Words are not enough, to say thank you. So Lord, you are my everything. You're my everything. How can I express my gratitude? How can I express my gratitude for all the many things you've Father, you done for me? Lord, you are, you're my everything. See, I call you Jireh. Lord, my provider. I call you Eunice. You are my banner. I call you Rapha. Hey. You are my healer. Say, Lord, you are. You're my everything. I call you Jireh. Lord, my provider. I call you
Hello, good afternoon to all of you. Another Saturday is right here with us. And this afternoon, I am delighted and excited that I'm going to lead our discussion on another edition of the Community and the Law. My name is Oluku Sifrimpon. I'm asking you, do you know how to run a successful construction business and obtain a sponsor license? You may say no, you might say yes, or maybe. Listen, put everything behind you. Let's sit together and look at how we can do that, because the experts are here. We have industry example, and of course, we have your questions and answers to come this time. And definitely, we wish you a very Merry Christmas in advance, and we have something real good up our sleeves for you. All together on the program, The Community and the Law, brought to you by BWF Solicitors. Next.
Welcome to BWF Solicitors, a trusted and experienced family law firm specializing in immigration and naturalization, as well as dispute resolution. Meet Bernard Owusu, our esteemed senior partner with over 30 years of experience and known for his expertise and dedication to serving our clients and the community. BWF Solicitors stand for integrity, respect, excellence, teamwork, diversity and inclusion, and service to the community. We provide tailored assistance across all areas of UK and Ghana law. At BWF Solicitors, every day is filled with dedication, creativity, and a commitment to finding the best solutions for our clients. Led by experienced senior partner Bernard Owusu, the team at BWF Solicitors is ready to assist you with your immigration, naturalization, dispute resolution, family law, new wills and probate, Ghana law and practice needs. We are dedicated to providing solutions to our clients' problems. You can find us at the 4th floor, Anna House, 214 to 218 High Road, Seven Sisters, London, N15 4NP. Main office line 0208 493 7340 or our emergency line 07712 761 884. Our private client services team is recognized for providing clear and practical legal advice to our clients in the United Kingdom and Ghana. Expert help with will writing, probate or estate administration. Our will writers and probate lawyers can act for you to obtain grant of probate and carry out estate administration on your behalf. The probate takes place after someone dies. If there's a will, the named executor is responsible for ensuring that the estate of the deceased is secured, assessing its value and paying any inheritance tax. If there is no will, the interstate and inheritance rules require similar responsibilities. Our lawyers offer strategic and practical solutions to the issues which clients face, whether it's in relation to succession planning, will preparation, probate and the administration of estates, immigration and visas, contentious family or probate disputes, administering estates often with inheritance cross-border issues, international trust advice including residence, domicile issues, wealth preservation, a fast, efficient service from SRA-regulated professionals, transparent pricing. BWF Solicitors. Let us take care of probate. Our private client services team is recognized for providing clear and practical legal advice to our clients in the United Kingdom and Ghana. Expert help with will writing, probate or estate administration. Our will writers and probate lawyers can act for you to obtain grant of probate and carry out estate administration on your behalf. The probate takes place after someone dies. If there's a will, the named executor is responsible for ensuring that the estate of the deceased is secured, assessing its value and paying any inheritance tax. If there is no will, the intestate and inheritance rules require similar responsibilities. Our lawyers offer strategic and practical solutions to the issues which clients face, whether it's in relation to succession planning, will preparation, probate and the administration of estates, immigration and visas, contentious family or probate disputes, administering estates often with inheritance cross-border issues, international trust advice including residence, domicile issues, wealth preservation, a fast, efficient service from SRA-regulated professionals, transparent pricing. BWF Solicitors. Let us take care of probate.
BWF Solicitors, thank you very much for your kind sponsorship and, of course, the encouragement they give us every day. So if you need any advice from a legal organization, I'm advising you and recommending that you go to BWF Solicitors. BWF Solicitors, located on the 4th floor of the Honor House, 214 to 218 Tottenham High Road, Seven Sisters, North London, N15 4NP, Monday to Friday, between 9:30 a.m. in the morning and 6 p.m. in the evening. BWF Solicitors, they have their offices open and you can walk in and have an appointment with any of the lawyers. The partners are there, the trainee solicitors are there, and of course the solicitors are around to give you absolute quality service when it comes to the law. Immigration issues, 100%. When it comes to appeals and all the other bits of that, 100%. When it comes to family, then looking at where they will help you go through divorce procedures if it has to happen, or when it is that you are married, what immigration applications can you put in to make sure that things are right. BWF Solicitors is our proud sponsors for this program. This afternoon, we are going to look at a very interesting topic. The question is how to run a successful construction business to obtain a certificate of sponsorship, so you can bring people from outside of the UK to come and work in the construction industry. We have an industry person to be with us on the show, and we will be looking at their experience. Then again, we will come inside the law firm and look at how BWF Solicitors will be of benefit to you when you are putting together your application to apply for a certificate of sponsorship, and also how to stay on the right hand side of the law. You know, the Home Office has strengthened and really tightened the supervision and inspections. And if you do things wrong, definitely your license could be taken away from you. So you would have to sit with us and make sure that you have really taken into your wealth of knowledge the things that BWF Solicitors will teach us. The senior partner, Uncle Ben, is himself here, and he is my guest and our resource person this afternoon. But before then, let's get something out of the way. Earlier in the week, we spoke about things that you could do. The updates we gave you, the nuggets we gave you on Monday morning is what I'm going to reiterate here. Now, let's get it on the screen. If an immigration officer makes a mistake and things don't go your way, the decision is made against you, is the Home Office bound by the mistake? Can you say that, well, the caseworker or the immigration officer made a mistake, so the Home Office would have to consider that as their mistake, accept responsibility, and get the decision in my favor? Now, let's look at it. A mistake made by an immigration officer is not binding on the Home Office is not bound by a mistake made by an immigration officer by granting an EU national's durable partner leave to enter as a partner under the EUSS rules. The migrant would still need to show a specified document, as the mistake does not amount to a specified document. I think there are some technicalities here. A durable partner, specified document, the mistake made, and EU national, the EU SS rules and all that. We're looking at a case known as the Alaraj EEFMS Admission IOS Stamps 2023 law 00277. So that case is a fresh one in 2023. We're still in 2023, so I can say it's a fresh one. Sometimes we go back on cases years back, but this is a 2023 one. And the ruling says that the Home Office is not bound by a mistake made by an immigration officer by granting an EU national's durable partner leave to enter as a partner under the EUSS rules. The migrant will still need to show a specified document. What is that? Let me quickly go over to our senior partner, Uncle Ben, Mr. Bernard Osu, as we know him, and we all affectionately call him Uncle Ben, to let us in on what this case sought to really portray and what we can learn from that. Uncle Ben, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much for your time. And I know Saturday afternoons are very precious and valuable to people, but you make time for us. So we do really appreciate that. And our regards to the rest of the family. Merry Christmas in advance.
And season's compliments to you and your family as well.
Thank you very much. We're celebrating, yet there are things we need to know.
Absolutely.
We're looking at the the immigration officer apparently makes a mistake, and we see that a mistake is made. They admit that the mistake is made, but this ruling is saying that it's not binding on the Home Office. There are things that need to be proven and also shown. Please break it down for us.
Okay, so good evening to everyone who's joined us. We're very, very grateful that you've joined us this very cold Saturday in the United Kingdom. We hope you will stay with us throughout the 2-hour program because we're bringing you very good information from one of our success stories. Now, immigration relies on law, and this law are usually laws that have been promulgated either through Parliament or by statement of changes by the Secretary of State, who is in charge of the Home Office. And normally, now it's he, used to be she, when he makes those statements or puts the law before the Houses of Parliament, which includes both the House of Commons, and then the House of Lords. It becomes law, and he's responsible for all the laws that are in relation to immigration. The 1971 Act, which is the Immigration Act of 71, gives him the powers to do certain things, and that includes that when he writes the law must be abide by. So in this case, when you look at it carefully, the Alaraja case, you look at EEA and EFMs. EEA will tell you is an old style case, which would be the 2006 and 2016 regulation, which was in place before the withdrawal agreement at midnight, the 31st of December 2020. Now, it refers to durable partner. Durable partner is someone who is in an unmarried relationship with an EU national, and usually would have lived with a person in a durable relationship of a minimum of 2 years. Sometimes factors around it will classify them as durable partner if there is stability in the relationship. That is, if they've got children and yet haven't lived together for 2 years. But the yardstick is 2 years relationship. So this person obviously had come to the UK after the withdrawal agreement.
No.
And after the withdrawal agreement, the law says that if you're coming as a durable partner, which really it's a decision that ought to be made by a country in the European Union. It's not like those other factors where you are a family member, you're classified as an extended family member, and the host country will have to perform certain functions before they can then admit you. So for you to qualify, as at the date of 31st of December 2020, you ought to have what we call a specified document. The definition of a specified document will be an entry clearance, a family permit, EU family permit, or some other evidence that has been prescribed within the laws.
Okay.
So when he arrived here, he arrived at the airport. The immigration officer had what we call a rogue stamp. Now, this is not forged. They haven't explained to us why they had a stamp, but that stamp was there. Nobody's accusing anyone of forged, mistake, fraud, misrepresentation on the side of the applicant. It's all to do with the Home Office.
Okay.
So he stamped his passport and said, I am satisfied that you are a durable partner, and therefore I admit you to the UK as a durable partner. So he entered. You enter, you have to apply for a residence card and do your EU settlement application. He applied and they said, well, you don't have a specified document.
Right.
But he said, oh, come on, what are you talking about? You gave me this stamp. This stamp clearly says that I have a durable relationship. And this is my proof that I'm in a durable relationship. The court then found that no, that cannot be right. It's a rogue stamp which found its way into the desk of the officer. There has been several people who have been given that rogue stamp. They won't tell us how many people. They won't tell us how it found its way onto the desk. They will not tell us who created the stamp, whether it was created at the time because of necessity, time, or convenience. But then the court said, no, the mistake of the entry clearance officer or the mistake of the immigration officer cannot be held against the Secretary of State, although they all work under the Secretary of State. Their decision is not bound on him, especially in this case where they have prescribed the forms that some of this document must take. And so, that is why they said it's not bound on him.
Well, that's about specified document. Now let's look at a situation where I have gone for an extension, for instance, and I needed, well, we could still say specified document. I needed to produce a document, but the caseworker overlooked it and granted me the extension. Later on, it's found that it didn't have to be so. I needed to produce that. Can this case apply in this circumstance?
Okay, so when we started learning immigration, there were several issues about being forcibly given indefinite leave at the airport. There were several people who arrived here as visitors and their passports were stamped. Because at the time when you arrived, they had various stamps. They had the admission stamp, and they had indefinite leave to enter. A lot of people were given indefinite leave to enter. In those instances, I'm talking about the 90s, we won a lot of those cases, and they kept the indefinite leave. But it was a case that the Secretary of State did not want to fight. They just left it. But strictly, if a mistake is made and is corrected, then clearly the mistake is not binding on the Secretary of State. Another thing is that you've applied for 2.5 years and they've given you indefinite leave. That obviously is a mistake. Again, that's not binding on the Secretary of State. The other thing is that you apply for student visa for a year, and then they've given you 2.5 years under Appendix F, or 2.5 years, whatever, which goes far beyond your scheduled time to complete your studies or your CAS. Again, that will not be binding on the Secretary of State. And this case goes to show, although it's an upper tribunal case, it's still binding, and until it's appealed, it's binding. And therefore, currently, if a mistake is made, then you cannot hold it against the Secretary of State. I find it a bit curious that the courts are very, very strict when it comes to mistakes made by applicants and appellants and their reps. But again, I think immigration is a very hot cake at the moment, and hot issue at the moment. And clearly, the courts wanted to ensure that they do not open the Pandora's box or the floodgates for people to get through. And this is one of those cases where it's a fact of the case. Why this case did not succeed is that the definition of prescribed or specified document is there in the law, and this was not one of those. Yeah.
Well, if you just joined us, we just gone through a nugget, and one of the things that we have figured out is that if an immigration officer makes a mistake, law says it's not binding on the Home Office. The Home Office really is not bound by a mistake made by an immigration officer by granting an EU national's durable partner leave to enter as a partner under the EUSS rules. The migrant should show or still needs to show a specified document, as the mistake does not amount to a specified document. And that's what the senior partner, Uncle Ben, has clearly explained. Then, if you have any further questions as we move on, you can call the office number 0208-493-7340. Or if you are in Ghana and you want to get in touch with the BWF Solicitors fraternity, you can call the Ghana number 055-589-5959, 233-55589-5959, or the emergency number 0044771276184, 077-127-6184, 61884. So it is. You can find it at the bottom of the screen there. You can visit the BWF Solicitors website, bwfsolicitors.com, bwfsolicitors.com. Now, on the website, I need to let you know that there are various articles that Mr. Usu has written, and they are published there. Those articles are good resource for lawyers, for people who would want to really understand immigration issues, especially when it pertains to the UK, and also for those of you who would want to be your own pocket lawyers and want to do things on your own. The laws as they are explained, he provides very cogent education on what the laws are, what the updates are, the rest of it. Now, in the coming year, 2024, we will be looking at most of the government regulation and guidance updates that have been given. If you have been following the UK Parliament, you realize that there's a lot of discussion on immigration, and the Prime Minister is saying that he's going to cut down so many things and the rest of it. We'll be looking at how it applies to us, what we can do in those situations, and all that. So you don't have to miss any of our educational programs right on BWTV and with BWF Solicitors, especially the community and the law that comes your way every Saturday afternoon between 4 and 6 p.m. GMT. Well, moving to the next segment, ladies and gentlemen, and it is a celebration I want us all to have. One of very vibrant young lawyers, trainee solicitors here at BWF Solicitors has celebrated a milestone. Happy birthday to our trainee solicitor, Deborah Edu. You are a year older, and we want to pray for God's guidance, God's blessings, and of course, as you're learning from the best, you will become one of the best solicitors here in the UK. So, Debbie, happy birthday to you. We celebrate you, we appreciate you, and we want you, as you are smiling, that wonderful picture. That's what you do all the time when you come to the office. Do that, and clients are also very grateful for your demeanor. Happy birthday to you, Deborah. I do. Happy birthday. We all celebrate with you. God bless you. Okay. Now, having done that, Debbie, maybe you be my quiz mistress this afternoon. So you'll be my partner in quiz. Last week it was Lawyer Charles Osman who was my partner in quiz. Today, the main boss is here. So I'm going to ask him to give me the permission. So I go on to tell you what the quiz is all about. The BWF quiz is about showing appreciation to you as clients and customers, and also to say thank you to you for working with us all throughout the week. And what we do every year is a tradition, we won't break it. What we do every year is that in December, we run a series of quizzes and we put very sumptuous prizes on them. Now, this year, we're giving you a return flight to Ghana on one of the best lines that you would fly on and get to spend some quality time in Accra. Now, remember, it's only to Accra, not to any other city. So your flight will be a return flight to Ghana and to Accra. The second prize is a cash prize of £200, and the third prize is £100. The other consolation prizes that will be coming, we have got quality BWF Solicitors t-shirts that you can don and also be the big girl around town, and let people know that you are associated with the best. That's BWF Solicitors. So now what we're going to do is this. You call in, the number to call is 0208 493 7345. 0208 493 7345. The lines are ready and waiting for you. And when you call in, we'll pick up your name and we will give you a minute to answer as many questions as possible. As many questions as possible. Now, you may have followed us all throughout the year, and there are several things that we have learned. We'll be asking you a few very interesting and simple questions about them. We'll ask you questions about BWF Solicitors. Then, if you are able to answer as many questions as in 1 minute, then we'll put your name, the person who gets the highest number correct will be put in the draw. Last week, there was somebody who was very lucky. Unfortunately, there weren't so many people who were getting through. The point in time when they were getting through, we were in the middle of the discussion, so we couldn't do that. But this time, I'm asking you to start calling now, and the time starts now. Start calling 0208 493 7345. Come and try your luck and see if you can win the return flight ticket to Accra, and either that or the £200 cash, £300 cash, or any of the consolation prize. Now remember, if you say pardon or repeat the question, I'm not going to repeat that because I need it to be very competitive. And then again, when you call once, like the person that called last week, you can't call again because we have your name written down already and we have records of that. If you call once today, you can't call again within the time frame that set for the quiz competition. So let's see what you do. As I always do, come in. My questions are ready, very simple ones. 0208 493 7345. And let's see what you will have for us. 0208 493 7345. I can see so many people online be acknowledging your presence and saying thank you to you. I know Nanajima is there, Tilly is there. Now, let me also tell you one thing that we will be looking at, and I know that will be the Senior Partners Special Prize. Those who help us on social media, and they share a lot. Last year, we identified, I think it was Tilly Duma that won the prize by sharing the highest. Let's see who will share the highest between now and the 30th of December 2023 and see what it is and who will win the Senior Partners Prize of the highest number of shares. Okay, I've seen Anajima who's saying share. Thank you very much. Tilly, you are there. Thank you so very much. Who else is there? Jomens, hi everyone. I have Fifi who is watching us from watching from Coventry. Yes, thank you all. We have on Facebook and YouTube, you're watching us. And I just want to remind you that you're watching us live on YouTube, Facebook, and all the social media platforms, live on BWTV, brought to you by BWF Solicitors. Sandra Fraser, please share when you join. Sandra does has things so very clearly well when we are online. Hello, Riku and Uncle Ben, Derek Yeboah. Good afternoon to you. Thank you for joining us. Yes, I'm still waiting for your calls so we can do the quiz. Who is coming? If the hotline is busy, and I don't think it's busy, you can also call us on our number 073-992-684-208468. Sorry, 073-992-08468. If you think that the landline will be busy, it will not be. It's right here with me and waiting. You can call on the text line as well, and we will pick up and do the quiz with you. Well, Derek, thank you very much. We acknowledge you. Let me drop one of the questions. Okay. I nearly dropped one of the questions, but somebody is here. Oh, sorry. Please come again. Please come again. Sorry. I picked up. I pressed the wrong button. Sorry about that. Please come again. 0208493735 and 0739920846. That's the numbers for us to use. Somebody just okay. So I'll pick this one and hooray.
Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my dear. How are you?
I'm good. I'm Anita, Uncle Ben.
Anita, don't try to ask for a favor from Uncle Ben.
No, I'm not going to try ask question. I'm going to try the quiz.
Okay, Anita, what's your full name?
Anita, Ejapoma Intim.
Ejapoma.
Yes, please.
Okay. Well, Anita, are you ready for me?
Yes.
Should I start the clock?
Yes, let's go.
Are you
Yes.
sure?
Yes. All right.
Yes, Anita is ready. Anita, so I'll ask you the very first question. What is the door number for BWF Solicitors on the fourth floor of our house? What's the door number?
4-1. Is it 4-1?
Next question. Don't delay because your 1 minute is going. So don't delay.
Okay.
What is the deadline for any EU application?
Come again.
To qualify under EUSS, your sponsor should have been your family member latest by what date?
I don't know.
How much should you or your sponsor earn a year for your application to meet the financial requirement as a spouse?
86,000.
By how much will the financial limit go up by from March 2024?
It will go up from 22 to 36.
Health and care worker roles are listed on the shortage occupation list. True or false?
True.
I wanted to use my discretion, but my quiz master says your time is up. If you see on the screen, your time was up. Okay. I'll give you the final one. I'll give you the final one. So you got 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thank you, Anita.
Thank you.
Keep watching and let's see if somebody can beat you up to it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. 0208493735. If you come in, don't tell me to repeat the questions because it will go against you when the time is running so very fast. So try again. Let's see. 0208493735. Anita answered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions and got 1 correct. Who is coming? Let's see what you have. And you can also call us on 073-992-08468. 008-493-7345. Let's see what we have. When the time is up, we're going to a discussion because we have discussion on the setting up of a construction organization to be able to apply for a certificate of sponsorship so you can employ people to come into the UK from outside of the UK. But remember, our quiz segment is on and you stand a chance of winning the return flight to Ghana And if you don't win that, you could also win the second prize, which is a cash prize of £200. The third prize is £100. Other consolation prizes are available. You call only once. You have only one attempt. The highest score of the day will be put in the draw live on air. That will be done on the 30th of December 2023. Remember, the return flight is from UK to Accra. Terms and conditions apply. Remember, and you'll be traveling in off-peak time as well. So, yeah, let's see who is coming, who is ready, who would want to try. Uh, Again, I want to remind you how to run a successful construction business is what we are going to be looking at. So let's get going. 0208 493 7345. You can call on 0399208468. Maybe WhatsApp is what is most convenient to you. I can allow that. 07950422780. Anita Japoma has come in to try. Let's see. There will be questions about BWF Solicitors. There will be questions about the law, and there will be questions probably about this program as well. So let's get going. Prof, we have how many minutes? Just a few more minutes to go to do that. Well, whilst we wait for you, let me say thank you to BWF Solicitors for giving us the opportunity to come your way every Saturday afternoon on the community on the law. And let me say thank you to them as well for providing us the opportunity to have legal education and all the bits of knowing a lot more about the law every Thursday on Rainbow Radio and Friday on BWTV as well. Friday, Namati hosts that, and Thursdays we have Prophet Osiri Ose hosting that, and I have my turn on a Saturday afternoon on the community, and I'll be right back.
Welcome to BWF Solicitors, a trusted and experienced family law firm specializing in immigration and naturalization, as well as dispute resolution. Meet Bernard Owusu, our esteemed senior partner with over 30 years of experience and known for his expertise and dedication to serving our clients and the community. BWF Solicitors stand for integrity, respect, excellence, teamwork, diversity and inclusion, and service to the community. We provide tailored assistance across all areas of UK and Ghana law. At BWF Solicitors, every day is filled with dedication, creativity, and a commitment to finding the best solutions for our clients. Led by experienced senior partner Bernard Owusu, the team at BWF Solicitors is ready to assist you with your immigration, naturalization, dispute resolution, family law, new wills and probate, Ghana law and practice needs. We are dedicated to providing solutions to our clients' problems. You can find us at the 4th floor, Anna House, 214 to 218 High Road, Seven Sisters, London, N15 4NP. Main office line 0208 493 7340 or our emergency line 07712 761 884.
Okay, welcome back. Thank you very much for staying on. Let's go on to the line 0208 493 7345. Eva,
Hello.
good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Eva, are you ready for me?
Let's try.
Let's try. Good. I like that. That's positive. Eva, okay. Can we get your clock up now? Your time starts now. Eva, what's the door number for BWF Solicitors?
Door number.
Yes.
Oh dear.
Oh, Eva.
What a twist.
What was the deadline date for any USS application?
I'm guessing number 10.
By how much would the financial limit go up by from March 2024?
38,700 pounds.
When will the changes to student dependent visa applications take place?
January.
Okay, I'll give you that. Don't worry. What certificate must you get from a UK court to prove that your divorce is finalized?
That bit I didn't get you.
An employer can choose how much to pay you as long as it makes sense to the employer. True or false? Okay, your time is up, and you had 5 questions, and you got 3 out of 5.
Hmm.
How does that sound?
Good.
Good. Okay, so far you are the highest. You've answered the highest number of questions for the day. Okay,
Okay then. Thank
let's
you.
see how it goes. Let's see who else can beat you. If not, you might be winning. Anita had one. You have had three. 0208493745. Just got a couple of minutes, and we'll draw the curtains down on the quiz segment. Let's see who can just sneak through and get a chance again. The questions are very simple. Yes, let's see who is there. Hello. Can you go down the volume of your TV set or your computer so you can listen to me on the phone, please? Hello.
Hello, good evening, Kwagu.
Good evening. Who's this?
Kwagu, it's your main man, Antobam.
Who?
Kofi Antobam on the line.
Oh, Kenneth. Okay. Okay.
Kwagu,
Kenneth, are you ready?
I would like to ask a question before. I have an outstanding president already. Can I still take part in this one as well or not?
You have what?
An outstanding prize.
You have an outstanding prize.
Yes, which I have not taken yet. Antobam will remind you of that.
That prize was for last year, and you didn't come to claim it.
Last 2 years.
Last 2 years.
Yes.
Why didn't you come to claim it?
Because I've not got the time. Because it's to travel to Europe.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I think it's not fair for me to take part again, isn't it?
No. That's 2 years ago. This year you can. That's fine.
Okay then.
So let me put you through. Okay. How many offices does the BWF Solicitors? Oh, okay. No. Your time is not up. So I'll change this question. Ready?
I'm ready.
Kenneth, to go. Okay, Kenneth. Now your clock starts ticking now. Where in Ghana is the BWF Solicitors office?
Cantonment.
Care workers are listed on the shortage occupation list. True or false?
True.
The Home Secretary is the minister in charge of immigration in the UK. True or false?
False.
How many days does the Home Office have to challenge an immigration court decision?
14 days.
BWF Solicitors works on a Saturday and every other Saturday. True or false?
Only on appointment basis on Saturdays.
It doesn't answer my question.
So that question is a bit tricky.
The financial requirement for anyone to bring an independent is increased from 18,000 to what amount?
38,700.
I'm caught in a dilemma because I only have 4 seconds to ask a this question. But you would. So your time is up. Anyway, so Kenneth, Professor, how many did he get? You got 5. 5 out of 6 questions. Mr. Antobam, so you have 5, Efwa has 3, Anita has 1. Yeah.
Okay.
But let me ask you, would you be able to travel if you win?
Yes.
To Accra?
To Accra, yeah. Why not?
Because you can't exchange it.
No, I can't. I just came last week from Ghana.
Okay.
I've been to Ghana twice.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much for participating. And I think that's the last one.
Merry Christmas to all BWF Solicitors members.
Please say that again.
I said Merry Christmas in advance.
Merry Christmas to you as well. Merry Christmas to you as well. Thank you very much. Well, somebody is just rushed through. Unfortunately, I can't pick you up because the time is up soon. We will do another one next week, so watch this space. Today we had 3. No, we're not taking out any calls again. Sorry about that. 3 people: Anita Japoma, Efwa Brew, and Kenneth Oferi. We normally call him Antobam when times on the program. And these are the three participants for today. So we'll keep your name, Kenneth, in the draw. And our lady last week will also be kept in the draw. Same time next week, we'll be having another edition of the quiz. And remember, you stand a chance of winning a return flight to Accra. A second prize is £200. The third prize is 100, and other consolation prizes. Remember, you can call only once. You have one attempt, and the highest score or the highest scorer would be put in the draw, and that will be done on the 30th of December 2023 live on the program, The Community and the Law. Let's say thank you to BWF Solicitors. And when we come, we'll go straight into our discussion, and it's a very interesting one. Do you want to open up a construction organization company? Can you run it very successfully? What do you need to do? And of course, what requirements do you have to satisfy before you can apply and obtain a sponsor license? Think about this. And when I come back, I'll be going to the industry. It is the community and the law.
Our private client services team is recognized for providing clear and practical legal advice to our clients in the United Kingdom and Ghana. Expert help with will writing, probate or estate administration. Our will writers and probate lawyers can act for you to obtain grant of probate and carry out estate administration on your behalf. The probate takes place after someone dies. If there's a will, the named executor is responsible for ensuring that the estate of the deceased is secured, assessing its value and paying any inheritance tax. If there is no will, the intestate and inheritance rules require similar responsibilities. Our lawyers offer strategic and practical solutions to the issues which clients face, whether it's in relation to succession planning, will preparation, probate and the administration of estates, immigration and visas, contentious family or probate disputes, administering estates often with inheritance cross-border issues, international trust advice including residence, domicile issues, wealth preservation, a fast, efficient service from SRA-regulated professionals, transparent pricing. BWF Solicitors, let us take care of probate.
Okay, welcome back. Thank you very much for sticking and staying with us. How do you run a successful construction business and obtain a license to be able to employ people and bring them to the UK? You know what? I am going to look at one organization that's successfully run a construction organization here in the UK and see how they have gone about it. And it's the Saint Maya Dry Lining, Saint Maya. Okay, when I bring Nana on, you help me pronounce the name properly. Dry Lining Limited. Nana Ajenim Boateng is the managing director of the organization. Nana, good afternoon, and thank you for your time, and thank you for agreeing to speak with us.
Oh, good afternoon, Kweku. Greetings to yourself and your team.
Right.
Good afternoon, Uncle Ben. Good afternoon, our special audience for today. And if you can allow me to say a happy birthday to Debbie for
Right.
turning up another remarkable year in her life. We wish her all the best.
Thank you very much, Nana. That's very generous of you. Now, let me ask quickly. Names are very important to people, and sometimes when you're not able to pronounce it properly, it might become an issue. Can you help us with the name of your organization?
Yeah, my company is called Saint Maya Dry Lining Limited.
Right.
We are based in Nuneaton.
Okay. Now, when you say dry lining, what do you do?
Dry lining, if you look at the way we do it in this country, What happens is because of cold and heat transfer and also the loss of heat in various houses. In the olden days, they used to build with solid bricks and blocks. And what tend to happen is most of the heat you generate in the houses dissipate or it goes away
Okay.
through the solid blocks. So with time, new ideas came out to be developed. So what happened then was they had to align the solid block with a gyp line. The gyp line is what we call plasterboard.
Okay.
If you go to the US, they call it drywall. So dry lining is the art of using the plasterboards, align them together to form a wall in front of the solid block, so that you'll be able to retain some heat in your houses during bad weather conditions or during the cold seasons.
Okay. Now, a construction organization, you go around the city and you see that there are scaffolding left, right, and center, and you look at house prices and the property industry, how things go. It must be a very high capital orientation in there, isn't it?
Yeah, the construction industry, as we know it in every country, is one of the most strenuous and most sought after industries, in the sense that for a country to develop, so much of its infrastructure relies on its building and development, and it cannot be done if you basically don't go through construction projects.
Mm.
In the UK, it is one of the most regulated industries due to accidents, due to a lot of things that happen within the industry. There are so many trades within the construction industry. And when I talk about trades, I'm talking about the various professions within the industry. So
Mm.
basically, the government has got most of its eyes, within the industry to make sure the right things are done and we get development within the country done in a very safe and secure manner.
Who qualifies to work in the construction?
Everybody per se, those without degree, those without education, and those with education. I think if you look at the pyramid with the construction industry, you tend to have the most experienced and the most educated at the very top of the hierarchy. And as it filters down, we have, uh, probably middle range people who've gone through education and training
Mhm.
and all that. But then if you look at the pyramid, like I said, the very, very top is occupied by people with a lot of experience. Some of them it spans like 15 to 25 years, to 50 years and all that. Others too have got a very high caliber education degrees, bachelor's, master's, PhD, and most of them also are kind of affiliated with other professional associations. So anybody at all can, get into construction industry as long as you know or you have a niche within the industry to perform and do what you do best.
Now, you mentioned like it's a pyramid. So at the base, there's a lot of uh, construction hands, if I'm allowed to even classify them as that. How easy do you get people to come in to work in the industry? For instance, in your dry lining organization, how easy do you get people to work for you?
Well, I mean, like I first of all said, construction industry needs a lot of people. It needs a lot of hands, to come up with construction deliverables. I will use myself as an example here. I started getting into construction as a laborer, and I rose up to be a tape and jointer. I trained to be a tape and jointer. Then, as a manager, I became a quantity surveyor through education and also a director because I've got a reputable company in the industry. Basically, one will walk into it, without any training, without any training as a laborer. And through that, there are so many spectrums of trade within which you can find yourself or align yourself. So, there's no basically a criteria. Once you have the passion to succeed in the trade or to succeed in the industry, you can walk into it with bare hands, but then you will come out as an experienced person.
Right. Okay. Now, I know that your area is listed on the shuttered occupation, and we are allowed, we as in yourself in the industry, people who want to come in and all that are allowed to apply for a certificate of sponsorship so you can employ people from outside of the UK. Share your experience with us. How have you done it?
As a company, we have been trading very, very well for some years now. Our turnover is just exceeding in the realms of £1 million, and we're
Okay.
doing very, very well. But what tends to happen is over the years, we've worked with a lot of people, and because it is basically a subcontracting, kind of a company, people come in and go. So most often, you assemble the very right people to work with, but then over time, they find themselves going into different streams of works and different streams of projects. Uh, in a nutshell, you don't have a core people or the most experienced people to retain. So there was a problem of retention.
Mhm.
They're trying to have the best staff, under your rims. They need to be paid a very, very huge sums of money for you to retain them. And basically, because they are subcontractors, they can do anything that they want. They can choose to stay with you, or they can choose to move on. And also, the construction industry is just trying to come up after the Brexit and the exit of most workers from the EU, and that has created a market within the industry. And I think it's a very good thing that the government came out with this short occupation list to make sure that we don't have a scanty market, that we have the labor that we need to keep on developing the industry. Some of these things, basically, and hopefully, we can find them outside of the UK. And I think the short occupation list has paved us the way for the construction industries and also other trade packages to source labor and operate it from outside of the corridors of the UK.
Also, you have been doing that for some time now too.
Yeah. But over the years, it's just been, trying to rely on local resources and not on international basis. So that is the first time Saint Maya has tried to procure or recruit workers from the outside of the corridors of the United Kingdom.
Okay, so tell us a bit of your experience. I know BWF Solicitors has been supporting organizations to uh, recruit successfully from outside. What help have you had from BWF Solicitors?
They have been very, very helpful. BW has been the citadel behind the success of Saint Maya. They've run a lot of educational programs, within the company, and they've also been able to offer help, when we most need them. It's been a backbone, legally. All legal matters are basically presented to them for them to advise and address. During the course of securing this COS, basically the requirements are there, but somebody with a legal eye, they can interpret the meanings of what the Home Office actually wants, and they will also help
Mhm.
in terms of putting the right documents together for a successful application.
Right. So, how tedious was it? Tell me.
I will say that it is not an easy challenge, but as long as you are well prepared,
Mm.
and as long as you are somebody who have your eyes on making sure that the smallest details are even very important, you walk through that. But then I wouldn't say that it is a faint-hearted experience.
Mhm.
It needs somebody who is well prepared in terms of management, organization, execution of plans, and all that to do that. So whether it is easy or not will depend upon the individual and the personnel within the organization.
And if anybody would want to work with you as a construction organization, what do they need to do? Any contacts you can supply us with so we can look at you, and who should contact you?
St. Maya Dwelling Limited has got a website. So basically, if you want to do a bit of a dig up, you can find us on the web. You can contact us in terms of having a job to give out, a project for us to look at, or if you want to work with us. We have an inquiry form, so you can basically put your details in, name, your address, your telephone number, and all few necessary information that we request from you, and we will contact you and talk to you and take up the whole issue from there then.
Okay. Now you have successfully applied for a license. You are able to recruit. The Home Office is now conducting compliance audit, where they want to find out that all the criteria set, you've satisfied that and all that. How was your experience with the compliance audit?
Yeah, it was a 1.5 hours interview, a very strenuous one. The UKVI staffs the staff are well prepared. So I would advise that anybody who is invited or who is selected for such an audit or such a compliance audit should be very well prepared and make sure that they know exactly what they are talking about. Basically, the UKVI will want to know that you are well prepared for the assigned duty within which you want to put yourself into. Immigration, or sorry, illegal immigration has been a matter that the Home Office is trying to control. So basically, they are trying to put an arm in or a legal arm of the UKVI in your hands to make sure that you also do whatever you can do within the law to control immigration. So as a prospective sponsored worker, you will have to make sure you are right up on the right to work checks. The UK, the Home Office has got an appendix. I think it's Appendix D. If I'm wrong on that, I'm very sure Uncle Ben will just press me on the right direction. And that should be every sponsored license holder's Bible. It needs to be read every time to make sure that you know exactly what you are doing. Basically, what they are asking you to do, or what they are trying to find out from you, is that they know that you have a system in place within which you do your right to work checks. Also, you are somebody who's got an eye on keeping records of your sponsored employees and all that, and also keeping track of wherever they have been. Within the sponsored management system, it's a duty of the authorizing officer or the key officer to make sure that every bit of a change within the migrants are reported, and also they're also very insistent on your recruitment process. They used to have the resident labor market test, where whatever job you give to somebody from the outside of the UK, you need to make sure that it's advertised in the country, and people have to come for that, for interview and all that. And if they cannot be employed by you, that is where you have a test to say that then you can procure or recruit from the outside. Although it's not all that mandatory, it is just a good practice for you to conduct that. So by recruiting people, the Home Office wants to know that you know what you're doing, advertising for the job, interviewing series of people, and selecting those that you think are right to do the job.
How did BWF help you in this direction? You've been very thorough, and I quite remember when we were looking at going through the compliance audit. Uncle Ben took us through practically everything you have said here. How did they help you do that?
Yes, I mean, like I said, first of all, putting all the documentations together, they advise on the right course of documents to put together the requirement. When we had the letter to go through the compliance audit, we had two important meetings. That is a video live meetings where we did a bit of a practice to make sure that everything is basically, rooted out or put to the right using the right test. So we did two of that just to make sure that everything was in the right way. And Uncle Ben and Jemima and the other team were so helpful. We did a bit of a pilot project to see how things are going to go. If out of the blue you receive an email or letter from the UKVI for compliance check, the first thing every human being will do is to panic. But he was there to make sure that's not a problem. Let's all get all the documentation together. We did a pilot exercise, and I think through that everything was calm and collected, if I should say.
And I think I can confidently add that if you want to do that, any organization, talk to BWF Solicitors and they'll do that. Let me bring in Uncle Ben into this discussion. Nana has been talking so real good about your organization expertise and the support you have given. Uncle Ben, what should any organization, whether in the construction, we concentrating on the construction, but whether in construction or otherwise, what do they need to do to get ready for this compliance audit?
Well, I mean, first of all, the compliance audit is very key. It might come before you get your license, during your license, or during the renewal of your license. So compliance is key. And if you fail compliance, one of three things may happen. You may get suspended. You may get suspended with a downgrade and a time of 3 months to bring yourself to A-rated, or you may get revoked. Both actions are dire. They damage your reputation. They affect your staff and your workers that you sponsor. And clearly, if you lose your license, it means that every person you've applied under this process will have to leave. So for us as a law firm, we take our role and our responsibilities seriously. Now, you see, there are very selected businesses that we bring here. And these are very, very competent people.
That's right, yeah.
Now, Richard, I respect so much. He's Nana because he's a chief, but I call him Richard. Because consistently, he's run his business and he's run it very successfully.
Right.
Without the sponsorship system, his turnover is over $1 million. He's even going to do better. As I speak to you, this week alone, he's got 2 contracts. He needs over 40 people.
Right.
Over. Okay? The business is such that if you get somebody here and somebody offers them more money, they will leave.
They will leave, yeah.
And the business is that when somebody gets a construction contract, he is one of the people who will go in and finish the job. So the finishing, the plastering, the joining, and everything before the painters will go in. The stage that he gets to is very key. And if he hasn't got the people, he cannot discharge his duties. So for us, it's very key. What we do as a business, looking after other businesses in the community, is what is the survival rate of such businesses? What systems have they put in place? He knows his job. I cannot tell him what to do, as a dry liner. If I don't know anything about dry line. But what we share with them is the back office role, which is that you were doing your dry lining, nobody will worry you except your inspectorate. But now you've gone to take another job, which is the job of the Home Office, in addition to your responsibility as a builder. And that is key for everyone.
And managing the human resources.
It's very key. There are 5 duties for every sponsor, 5. And I've sat in meetings where I've been called by people who are almost about to lose their license. And when I sit there and I see the mistakes they've made for years, so it's very difficult to go back and correct. It really saddens me that something that you can have expert support to discharge, and it's so easy to discharge, so easy. The first duty is your record-keeping duty. He's got a system in place. It's a brilliant system. Now, I love businesses that are run properly because that's the only way you will succeed. And he runs his business so successfully. The other one is your reporting duties. You have to know what to report. The other one is respecting the immigration rules. The other one is respecting the wider UK laws. And then the other one is making sure that you're a person of integrity. So you don't cheat, you don't lie, you don't misrepresent. And when they come and they find any of the breaches, I can give you one. He mentioned something called tracking. Yeah? He knows that. And he mentioned something called resident labor test, although that's now defunct. But he uses that because those are the things that you need to understand.
I think in his presentation, he mentioned that even though it doesn't, it's worth looking at that.
That's
because
correct.
It's a good test.
And your calendars, they ask him. At the compliance, they ask him, show us your holiday calendar, contract of employment. What is in there? Does your contract employment show that you will be providing a pension? Does it mention holidays, that they're entitled to 28 days holiday or 20 working holidays plus the statutory holidays? Does it mention it? What is your job description? How do you recruit? All these are records that you must be keeping. And he had everything. He had a brilliant system. He wowed the person. I was a man. He wowed him. I mean, this interview normally take about 4 hours where they identify a problem. Within an hour and a half, we knew that he's passed. I knew that he's passed. You know, after a day or two, you got an email, we've approved you. You can bring in people. And already, as I speak to you, he hasn't stopped. He's gone ahead. Yesterday, he sent me 2 contracts that he's got, that he needs people. And we have to help him to get the people so that they can come and work. They will earn money. They will qualify. They might even set up business like him. Before, he was using subcontractors. Kweku, if he offers a subcontractor 30,000 and somebody offers 35 because they need to discharge a project, the person will leave him because it's a contract of service. He can leave anytime. And that is why for us, this process, like we have with the care, is very important. But this is what I say to businesses. If you genuinely need people to come and work with you, this will work with you. But if you're one of those businesses like they did in care, who doesn't have a business, doesn't want to bid for businesses, doesn't want to file for contracts, doesn't want to seek for jobs, has no recruitment procedures in place, if you come in, you won't survive.
I'll be asking you to take us through those procedures, how to bid for a contract, what to do with your HR processes and the back office details, and what to look for in all these things. But it permits me to go back to Nana and ask a very interesting question. Now, Nana, when you have a bid for contracts and you need people to come in, how do you sustain that? We're talking about competition here where people may try to outprice you and the rest of it. How have you sustained your bid?
Okay, in terms of bidding for projects, I've been in the construction industry for almost 23 years. And I've got a chain of reliable clients that I've been dealing with year in and year out. Okay. But I still go out to advertise and also make myself available for new projects and all that. The thing with subcontracting, of which is where we normally sit, is a subcontractor is offered a job instead of bidding or putting in a tender for one. So you mostly rely on the success of subcontractors. And then, or if you've been able to genuinely appraise yourselves in terms of, quality deliverance and all that, it means that you're going to be hooked onto or to be tied on to a subcontractor. And once they have the project, it's basically going to come down to you because you basically has to remain one of the approved subcontractors on their list. And every company has got a list of approved subcontractors that they work with. So in terms of getting jobs, we've been going through that, satisfied customers or clients coming back, year in and year out, trying to get, services from us again. And also, like I said, we go all out onto the internet. We go from companies to companies. We send our brochures and, our profile for them to look at. And we do get invites from some of them. The problem there is if you're going to work with a new subcontracting company or a new company that you don't know much about in terms of their payment regime, in terms of the way they do their quality checks, you might end up, hitting a brick wall because as much as the industry is well regulated, there are other cowboys companies who are also operating within that. With people who I normally work with, because I've been in the industry for so long a time, I know those I approach anytime I have a project. And most of them, because they know how competitive my prices are, if even they are on a project, most of them will come and join us to deliver the jobs. Just by, like we said, the retention of those staff, because they are subcontractors, it is not something that you can rely on. Yeah. So hence the sponsored visa license, which is
I'll go to a very specific question, and maybe for purposes of my viewers standing and people who would want to really work with such a very successful organization, who are you and how many numbers are you looking for? Who are you looking for? Are you looking for subcontractors? Are you looking for people who would have to come dip their hands into the business and work? And how many?
All right, let me ask: is it now or previously or historically?
No, now as we speak.
Now I am.
Maybe I'll put my glasses down, roll up my sleeves, and come and carry some water.
Yeah, now I am looking for full-time employees, people who are going to stay on the PAYE. So they have a salary that they are going to earn. They have a holiday package
Okay.
throughout the year. They have the right, if they're not feeling well, they can go on a sick leave and they will be paid. So basically, I'm looking for full-time employees and not subcontractors.
Okay. Now then, it leads me to ask Uncle this question: the requirements for successful construction industry sponsor license. Nana has spoken about um, the terms of employment and the contract, PAYE, holiday, sick conditions, at least managing the HR bit of it. What are some of the requirements? Are these the ones that we need to?
Well, so when we mention the five, and I always use my finger when I mention the five because pictorial evidence sticks better in your mind. So when we look at the five duties, everything he said there comes under one of the duties.
Okay.
So you look at your HR system,
Right.
that is record keeping. You look at your HR system, that is reporting duty. So if the person is not coming to work, he knows. You can ask him, he will tell you. Now, how many days do you have to report to us if one of your employees does not tend to work? He will tell you that it's 10 working days. So how do you know that this person is not working? That's a tracking system which he mentioned before. That also comes under one of the duties. He talked about pension and holiday and sickness. Where does it come under? UK employment law. So that's UK, wider UK law. And it talks about making sure that your right to work checks, you've got a manual, you know who to employ and who not to employ, respecting the immigration rules. Also understanding the difference between the various English language. What English is needed for this is B1 at 4 modules, speaking, listening, reading, and writing, UK immigration law. And every part of what he has said fits into one of the responsibilities. And that is why I love him so much. And I can see that he's going to be even more successful because he's a man of integrity and, he's determined to make his business even expand. But what this does is that it opens way for him to expand his business. Before, he was just taking what he can manage. Now, he will have reliable staff for at least 3 years or 5 years. And he can plan for the next 3, 4, 5, 6 years, 10 years ahead. He's a young man. And just that he's been made a chief, so he's got other responsibilities in Ghana. But he's a very decent person, and he's somebody that I always said the people that we bring on this program are people of immense success and also integrity. And that is why I will always recommend him to whoever wants to work with him.
Third-party organizations and professionals to help organizations like would you advise that people use third-party organizations for their HR, for the accounting purposes, keeping their books, for instance, and also making sure that they can have an eye to concentrate on the actual job and all the other bits are done by other people?
Yeah, he's got that. His wife is in charge of the HR now. Somebody who's recently finished a master's, very intelligent woman. Now himself has finished his master's. He's got a master's degree. So when he tells you that he knows what he's doing, he knows what he's doing. So the HR system, when we talk about HR, is not only human resource, but is a system. Do you have a system that has a bird's eye view of your staff? Let's say you've got 50 staff. Do you know where A, B, C are at this very moment? Have they recorded their holidays? When they were sick, is it recorded on there? And they asked him, so bring us your calendar. He took a screenshot, he sent it to them. They were satisfied. He understands what he's doing.
Right.
And that comes with passion, and also that you've got a law firm that will assist you, because he's not a lawyer. He's a very intelligent man, but he's not a lawyer. And I think I would rather free his hands to do what he does best, which is dry lining. And he's very successful at that. And that is why we come in as a third party to make sure that his systems are working. We've just introduced something called MOT for businesses that have sponsorship.
Yeah.
And the MOT, as you know, is to test your system, and it's very robust. Kweku, now I did mention that it saddens me to see people losing their certificates. Today, I've got 4 calls, 3 from people who just arrived in the UK, and they've been refused entry because their sponsorship were cancelled last week.
Oh.
And it shows on the system. There's
And
one
they Unfortunately, they didn't know.
They didn't know. There's one who knew, who told me she wants to come. I said, don't. As to whether somebody else will tell her to come, I don't know. We only advise on the law. It saddens me that I can show you a 16-page document after an audit where they've raised queries. And these are businesses that we didn't run, because if we were running them and they were listening to us, they won't have that business. They've come to me to help, and I will help them. We will put it right. But it's a lot of work after you've been found out. You've been found out on reporting, on record keeping, complying with UK law. Even the pay that you say you will pay, that itself is a compliance issue. Because if you state on your COS or DCOS that I will pay £20 an hour, and then you're actually paying £21, that is a breach.
There's
because
a breach,
you have to go on the system and report it on the SMS. And these are things that somebody like him, I don't want him to worry himself about. That work we do already, we have a very good partnership with him, and I want to see him being successful because, I love his family. We are like family, and really, for me, I want to see him succeed. Yeah.
One thing that stands out in the construction industry is subcontracting and subcontractors you deal with. Now let me ask you. From you, I'll throw the same question back to Uncle Ben, the legal expert. Do you have to worry about the bits, the administrative bit, and all the other requirements of your subcontractors before you deal with them? I'm asking this because if you subcontract any part of your job to any subcontractor and they don't comply to the regulations and the rules, it might affect you as well. But do you look into those things?
As somebody who has stayed in the construction industry for a long time, yeah, we do have challenges with subcontractors. Basically, I would say that most of them are basically after the money which they earn, and it goes without saying that because of that, a lot of them, or well, I wouldn't say a lot of them, but some of them will only have their eyes on the money and not the quality issue. As a company, the challenges we tend to have is defect and defect liability period. We are deducted a percentage for retention on every project that we on.
Okay.
And you are supposed to have your retention back at the end of the project. You have 50% back at the end of the project, and you have the rest of the 50% at the end of deferred liability period, which normally is 2 years after the project has been completed. But because there comes in latent defect and patent defect, and when I mention latent and patent defect, there are some defects that you can see and correct them now, but there are others you wouldn't see. They will show up probably a year or two after the project has been handed over. And if you have your retention with your client, and all these issues start coming up, it means you cannot have the right to be paid your retention because they are going to use that money to repair the works. And all these works which have been done by your subcontractors, either in a rush, without due care and attention. And this tend to bring problems in the future. For myself, I am always guided by Sales of Goods Act 1979, which goes without saying that everything that you produce within your sector, you have to make sure that it is fit for purpose and without any defect. And whatever you said it was going to do, that should be able to satisfy the required standards of which we are producing the intended service for. We have so many challenges also of retention, of which I've also mentioned. And mostly some of the guys that we have come in, they are not more appraised. It takes time for you to educate them. And it is also one of the challenges we have. But in a nutshell, throughout my years in construction, and those that I normally work with, they are those who have come to understand the way St. Maya works and what St. Maya expects of every subcontractor to do. So I don't tend to have more challenges now compared to a company who just start rising up in the industry. But there are challenges, but they, like everything else, they have to be controlled by who has got the right knowledge and experience to do that.
I mean, You said you associate yourself with the best of the very excellent ones. Now, looking through the application, supporting them to get the COS and making sure that they go through the compliance audit and everything so very well. Did you have to look at the issue of subcontractors for them?
Yes, he knows. He was asked a question about it, and there's another business, another construction business that we got sponsorship license for last week. We had to. There's a phrase we use. I don't like to be legalistic, too legalistic when I'm. Sometimes you can't avoid it.
Right, yeah, that's true.
So you need to be in control of the employee. So he knows that he cannot do subcontractors under his sponsorship license because that will not qualify under the rules, under the SW appendix. You need to be in total control of the processes and the direction. So, and for the employee, that is why subcontractors will no longer be working for him once he's had his full complement of the hands that he needs.
Okay.
Because, as he said, his income is retained by his client because it covers if there's a fault with the work that he's done. So if he's lucky and he recruits decent people and people who are experienced, because he will be interviewing them, not me. I don't have anything to do with his recruitment. All I do is that, no, we want this evidence, we want that evidence. He knows what he wants, what qualification he wants, what experience, and he was asked all these questions at the interview. How are you going to recruit? Where do you advertise? And he's got portals that he advertises on Facebook, on Instagram, and I think there's another place that he advertises. And there are people, if you want job and your experience, you can go and apply. He will interview you. The sort of person he is, he will personally interview you, either virtually or in person. And you will have to show him the portfolio of work that you've done, because he's not going to bring you for you to cause damage to his reputation. His business relies on competence and integrity. And therefore, he knows that whoever he brings in must be somebody either that he can coach and train immediately, or somebody who already has experience in this field.
What advice would you, before I let Nana go, I'll
Yeah.
come up here. What advice would you give to one, Nana, as somebody you have helped go through the compliance audit, and people who potentially would be receiving that email and also would be taken through the drill?
So the advice I've given him, and we always advise every person that we've had association with, is that first of all, if you remember your 5 fingers, those are the duties that you have. At the minimum, you should be keeping records. At the minimum, your record should be accessible. Home Office rule says it can be paper records or electronic. I always say electronic, because when they say to you, send us a screenshot of what you have before we come or before we interview you, are you going to scan the paper? And for me, that's a problem. If it's electronic, I can interrogate the record to see what you're doing right and what you're not doing right. But again, his business is his business. Our role is to make sure that he doesn't flout the law and that he presents himself as a person of integrity, and that the system that he uses also has integrity so that it cannot be breached. The other thing that I always advise businesses who are looking for sponsorship is that if you run it well, it will look after you. Can you imagine you've got a staff tied to you for 5 years, and he knows that for 5 years they can't go anywhere. They have to work because they have to get their indefinite leave. And if you can successfully do that, the retention rate and the effort and the money and time that you put into training, because to train someone to come to your level of understanding and experience, it takes a lot of time and money. And for us as a business, we always tell them, and those that listen don't have problems, and I'm very proud to say that. But those who are not our clients, who've had issues, when they come to us and we identify the problems, they see it as a mountain. And yes, it's a mountain, but then we give you a schedule to work towards. And once you can work with a schedule and I have the evidence, I will be able to go back to the Home Office Admit where you have to admit, apologize where you have to apologize, but also where we don't have to admit or apologize, we can argue our way. And if it's the discretionary punishment, we can say, well, we're happy to accept either a downgrade to a B, because when you're B, you will keep your staff, but you cannot recruit under sponsorship. If it's revoked, everybody has to leave. A means you can issue certificates, you can recruit, and you can retain. And that is why, for us, we tell people before you get an email or a knock on your door, come and speak to us. We will sit down with you. I will test your system. I personally, I don't delegate that work. We will test the system. We will ask you a lot of questions. I will tell you where you've gone wrong. There's one that we did. As soon as we finish, Mr. Usu, thank you. I've identified 3 problems. I said, I'm glad that you've had it. And he's worked on it. It's a big business. If you've recruited 100 people and they come and look through the pay slips and they see problems for 6 months with each of your pay slips, how are you going back to correct it? So come to us. We will look at your systems. I see a lot of people are doing this on their own because they don't want to pay. They think they can do. Yes, it's up to you. For us, it's really a matter for you, but it costs a lot more, and it will cost you a lot more reputational damage if you don't have the systems, you don't have advice, you don't know, you're employing your relatives when you shouldn't be employing, and these are things people don't know. And who are the relatives? Relatives go to the extent of step. Even people who are step are considered as your relative. And if you employ them, it's a breach of the immigration rules.
Nana, let me come to you finally and ask, well then, I should say, you've received a lot of complimentary remarks from Uncle Ben, and he, as I know, is very diligent about what he does and wants to do excellently well. What advice would you give to people in your industry who want to go the path that you have trailed?
Thank you, Kweku. I think Uncle Ben and BWF Solicitors is a hallmark, is a name that everybody warms up to. The moment you hear that name, it comes with some quality, it comes with some achievement, and it comes with knowledge and experience. So within my circles, I know a lot of people know the capabilities of BWF. The problem we tend to have within, we as Ghanaians, or say we as Africans, is sometimes we want to turn certain things into DIY. We think, once we receive a bit of coaching, there are so many things we can do ourselves. Every successful business comes with also some legal backings. There are certain things you have to do or you have to satisfy within the law. And since, your hands cannot cater for everything, for me, my advice is you make sure those things are handled by somebody with a legal knowledge. And if you ask me, I wouldn't go anywhere other than going to see BWF. All your legal issues that pertains to your company, that pertains to family issues and all that, they are there for you. It is a one-stop shop for all legal matters. And for the help and assistance that you have given me over and over the years. It didn't start just yesterday. It didn't start just last year. It's been running more than a decade. I will advise, every Mikan Queen to make sure that they go that direction and they will have the best of services to back up the company or whatever they are doing. No company can survive so successfully without having legal matters addressed by those who know best. So that is going to be my advice to my peers within the industry and those who also occupy the seat of directors and managers within companies.
And finally, I know I said I was going to put my glasses down, roll up my sleeves, and come and work for you. Any contact
No
you leave
problem.
behind? Any contact you want to leave behind for us to use?
Yes. My telephone number is 07506 515 998. and the name is Richard Boating. Within the industry, some also call me Maya. Within my peers, is either Maya or Nana Ajanim Boating. So once you have the telephone number, if you need work, if you want to work for us as an employee, give us a call, or whatever form it might be, give us a call, and we will be able to take it from there.
All
Thank you
right.
very much.
Thank you very much. And on behalf of everybody that's been part of this production, we want to say congratulations to you, Nana Ajani Boateng, Richard, as Uncle Ben affectionately calls you, Saint Maya Dry Line Limited. And you can get in touch 07506 515 998. We associate ourselves with the best, and that's why we have the support of BWF Solicitors. We take a message and we.
Our private client services team is recognized for providing clear and practical legal advice to our clients in the United Kingdom and Ghana. Expert help with will writing, probate, or estate administration. Our will writers and probate lawyers can act for you to obtain grant of probate and carry out estate administration on your behalf. The probate takes place after someone dies. If there's a will, the named executor is responsible for ensuring that the estate of the deceased is secured, assessing its value and paying any inheritance tax. If there is no will, the interstate and inheritance rules require similar responsibilities. Our lawyers offer strategic and practical solutions to the issues which clients face, whether it's in relation to succession planning, will preparation, probate and the administration of estates, immigration and visas, contentious family or probate disputes, administering estates often with inheritance cross-border issues, international trust advice including residence, domicile issues, wealth preservation, a fast, efficient service from SRA-regulated professionals, transparent pricing. BWF Solicitors, let us take care of probate.
And we'll be right back. Thank you very much, BWF Solicitors. I just want to remind you that our quiz competition will continue next week. We'll have the draw on the 30th of December 2023. And the first prize is a return flight to Ghana. Terms and conditions apply. Second prize is a cash prize of £200. Third prize, £100. And other consolation prizes. Now, these are the rules. You only call once. You have only one attempt, and the highest score of each of the programs will be put in a draw, and the draw will be done, will be put in a hat or a pot, let me put it that way, and the draw will be done live on air. And remember, the return flight from UK is to only Accra, not any other city, to Accra. And the terms and conditions around definitely apply. So get ready next week when we're back on the community and the law right after the nugget. You can start calling in, and we will be taking you through that 1 minute spell of quick, very vibrant set of questioning, and let's see how many you can get right within the minute. Now, so far we have Kenneth Antobam, who is leading the pack with 5 correct answers. Last week we have our dear sister coming. What's the name? I think I've just lost it somewhere. I should I should bring it up here. There's a lady that really had one. She was the only person that could really. We'll be putting the two of you in the pot. But next week we'll have another one. Then the final week we'll have another one. So definitely be having up to about 5 people in there, and we'll draw that. And the other prize we're giving is the senior partner prize for the person who shares our link highest. Last year, Tilly Duma won that, and this year I'm asking who wins that prize.
She's still winning.
Well, I'm told that she's still leading, so people will have to start sharing now, quickly, quickly, quickly. So probably you can beat her. But today, well, I hear you're still leading. That's real good, and that's loyalty. We appreciate that so much. We didn't take that for granted at all. We value our customers, we value our listeners, we value our viewers, and we value the people who are with us as a family. BWF Solicitors are trusted by our partners when it comes to the law. Uncle Ben, there are a few questions here. Well, between now and the next few hours, you can call in. Telephone number 0208-493-7345. You can call in to put your question to Uncle Ben. If it's about how to successfully run a construction business and obtain a sponsor license, yes, you can ask. There are other questions that may be bothering your mind when it comes to the law. The main man himself is here, so you have a good and a glorious chance to ask the question. One saying, I'm applying for a child entry clearance for my child. I left the child in the care of my grandmother in Ghana, and grandmother writes a letter. Is it compulsory that she should attach her ID documents to that particular letter? Or if grandmother gets statutory declaration from court that she can no longer take care of the child, must she attach any ID document? Is this compulsory or optional?
Well, first of all, I will be very worried if people start taking letters from the guardians or the carers of the children they're applying to bring. That shows that either the person has responsibility over the child and it's not delegated responsibility, or it may be that something else has not been done. So I will exercise caution in just asking grandmother to write a letter. When you're bringing your child, the law requires that although you lived far away in the United Kingdom and they live somewhere else, that you maintain the abiding interest in your child and that you take overall responsibility. The responsibility must not be shared. It may be shared between parents, but just so that you know, when they say so responsibility, it really means that all the major decisions or most of the major decisions are made by yourself, maybe through other people, but then you will be able to show the evidence of that. So if a grandmother is looking after the child, the first thing I want to show is where was the child living when you were there? When did the child go to live with grandmother? What does grandmother do? What directions do you give grandmother? Can you provide the evidence? Do you call the child's school? Do you know when a child goes to church? When a child is aware and they go to clinic, do you follow up? Do you pay the bills? Do you send money? Do you go to Ghana regularly? Or do you go to some other country to see the child? You've got pictures and your travel documents. You've got evidence in your passport that you go. These are the things that we want to see, not just a letter or a statutory declaration. Statutory declaration and a letter without an independent evidence of your duties and responsibilities in the child that you've discharged will be just self-serving evidence, and the weight to be given to it usually will be negligible.
Okay. 0208-493-7345. We've got somebody on the line with us. Hello.
Oh, hello. Good evening, Uncle Ben, and you as well.
Yeah, good evening.
This is KK. I have a short question to ask.
Hmm.
My question is, a friend of mine applied for the wife. He's a student. Applied for the wife to join Master Student Dependent. Well, the application was refused. Now, after 3 months, he decided to apply for the wife to just come over to visit. Now, the wife completed the visitor's application form, paid the required fee. Now, when the wife joined, after let's say 4 months, he was just sitting and he said, "Oh, actually, when you came, I didn't even check your visa. Let me have a look at it." And then we were all just sitting down. But when we looked at it, it was the student dependent visa. It's what they've given it to her, which is a bit confusing. So then my question is, now that she paid for the visitor visa, but then you've already paid for student dependent visa, which was refused, and but now they've given her which I believe that it means that when she applied for the visitors one, they realized that they made a mistake in the first place for not granting the first application. So can she ask for a refund for the visitor visa, please? That's my question.
Okay.
Well, I mean, my understanding is that the first visa for student dependent was refused, and then she applied for a visitor's visa, and instead of being given a visitor's visa, she was given a student dependent. Obviously, that's a mistake, and they will obviously find out because the application she made was for a visitor's visa and not for a student dependent. And when she comes here as a visitor, she cannot switch to be her husband's dependent. If she wants to stay as a student dependent, she will have to go out and apply. If she takes the risk and say, well, I'm here as a student dependent, so I'm going to renew it, very likely they'll refuse it. And then we know that the case law clearly says that where there's a mistake, that cannot be used against the Secretary of State, and you cannot rely on it. That's an obvious mistake. So if she wants to test whether it's genuine, she should write to them and say, you've given me this visa, I applied for a visitor's visa, you've given me a student dependent. Can you explain to me why you've done that? And if it's a genuine, they say, oh, no, we gave it to you. And then at least you know it's not a mistake. Most people would not do that. They would just assume that it's just been granted. I think it's just common sense that she knows that it's a mistake. Yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Well, thank you very much for your time as well. We can pick up several other calls 02084937345. You can text 0739920848 or send a WhatsApp message. It could be a voice note or something like that on 07950422-780. We're live on BWTV and we having a very interesting discussion on how to run a successful construction business and obtain a sponsor's license. This segment is for you to come in with your questions and concerns, and Uncle Ben will be answering that. But one other thing we'll also be doing is our quiz segment where we test our knowledge on some of the things we have left. And this afternoon, we'll be looking at a scenario that we have created and want to find out if you would be able to answer that. And the question says, on November 5, 2020, Kwekwanansi traveled from Ghana with a French national partner. His passport was stamped by an immigration officer at Heathrow Airport, stating that he was admitted to the UK under Immigration Regulations 2016. The immigration officer said Kweku had satisfied her that he was in a durable relationship with an EEA national. Kweku made an application for EU pre-settlement status. The application was refused because they said he did not have a specified document and that the stamp in his passport was a mistake. What is the likely outcome if he appeals? One, an appeal will be allowed because the immigration officer was satisfied that he was a durable partner. The appeal will be dismissed. Number two, because the Home Office is not bound by the mistake. And three, the appeal will be allowed because Kweku is in a genuine relationship. Maybe to help you really unpick this and understand that, let's look at the case that I got Uncle Ben to explain concerning when an immigration officer makes a mistake. Well, we're still wishing our sister happy birthday. Home Office is not bound by a mistake made by an immigration officer by granting an EU national's durable partner leave to enter as a partner under the EU's rules. The migrant would still need to show a specified document as a mistake does not amount to a specified document. Okay, now keep that, chew on that, and think about it. I'll be coming to the question, but next, let me go to the phone lines again 0208-493-7345. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, it's me once again, Kwaku.
Yes.
Hello to Uncle Ben.
Yes.
With this just Kiki's question, he asked about mistake of issuing an visa.
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine brought children. When he applied for them to join him, the children were still with a sports visa. He's been staying all these years. It's almost due for renewal. Okay. So in that sense, what's going to happen to the kids if he's going for the
So the original intention of his visit was not for a sporting event, but it was giving the
It was
sports visa.
to join the parents.
Okay. Agreed.
And then they were issued with, I was looking at the visa when it showed it, it's a student visa. No,
The
sports
sports
visa.
visa.
But none of them is a sporting man that they give the children sports visa.
Well, that's obviously a mistake. I mean, their mistakes cost people more than gives them benefit. So we always challenge them. I remember a case where somebody's previous decision was used instead of the current application, and therefore they were on 10 years. We went back and said, no, she should be on indefinite leave, not 10 years. So if somebody is coming to join their parents under 297 or FM, Appendix FM ECC, which will be entry clearance child if it's a limited leave, or 297 if it's for indefinite, they should be given indefinite leave to enter to join parent, or limited leave to enter to join parent. If they're given a spouse visa, obviously that's a mistake. They have an error section where you send an email and you say, dear sir, so we made this application. There's a reference number, and then you obviously issue the wrong visa. Can you now correct it? And they will always correct
it's okay.
Always, yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's the legal advice, right?
Yeah, that's explained. My second question is, considering the people that are sharing on the platform, about who is that share on WhatsApp? How are you going to see us sharing? Because
Oh, you share on WhatsApp?
WhatsApp, I have about hundreds of people on my WhatsApp page. So you guys
Yeah. No. Hold on. There must be a way around it. For instance, I have created several broadcast groups, and I do share. Uh, we'll look at that and come back to let you know how we can do that. But keep sharing. Don't stop, because
keep sharing. So, yes, my ear.
keep sharing. Don't stop, please. Thank you. All right. 0208493734. Just take a couple and we go on to pick up our quiz. 0208493734. Text 07399 208468. WhatsApp 07950422780. Good evening, Uncle Ben. Please, we applied for fee waiver before our biometric card expired. It's been 3 months and still have not received a code yet. Can I leave my job, join a new one? Because we applied for the fee waiver before. Okay, it's the same question you have repeated. It came in there. So, you apply for a fee waiver before it expires. What happens?
So there's a current Court of Appeal case on this matter, and it's very, very important that you listen. Anybody who makes application, if they are in time, so in time is they still got visa, they haven't overstayed, and you don't have to overstay. You have to make your application so that you remain lawfully within the requirements of the law. If you make your application before your visa expired, it doesn't matter how long it takes them to consider. There's a law called Section 3C of the 1971 Immigration Rule, which says that if an application is made in time, then until the decision is made, the application will be deemed to have, the leave to remain will be deemed to have continued, even when it's expired. So physically it's expired, but legally it continues because you put in your application, because there are delays at the Home Office, so that cannot punish you. When you look at paragraph 39E of the immigration rules, applying for fee waiver comes under that. When you look at paragraph 34, the validity of an immigration application, applying for fee waiver comes under that as well. So it means that you are protected. A fee waiver application is deemed as part of the main application process. And therefore, even if it takes them 6, 7, 8 months after your visa expired with them, so you apply before your visa expires, but when it went to them, it expired there. It's not your fault that it's taking too long, so you cannot be punished, and therefore you will be deemed to be working here lawfully. When you go to another employer they might not be able to do what we call the code sharing or employer right to work checks. They will do what we call employer checking service with a reference number. When you applied for your fee waiver, you were given a reference number that starts with 1212 dash and then several numbers after that. If you give that to them, they will use that and the Home Office will confirm whether or not you have a right to work. Yeah.
Um, this person follows up and says that the new company did employee check and they're happy to employ this person. They've done the right thing, haven't
That's
they?
the right thing. Some employers are not resourced, so they don't understand. Once your biometric card is expired, although you made your application before it expired, they will assume that you don't have a right to work and they will just send you off. And clearly, that is not within the rules. Your first point of call should be ACAS, which is an arbitration company, and they, it's a government setup, which they will get involved. They will call your employer. They will tell them that they are breaching the law. They're very good when it comes to dealing with them. And I urge people to call them if they have a problem with their employer.
So maybe for emphasis, if the application that was made before the card expired, if it goes in there and it stays in there for years, would it count towards the person's drive to indefinite and all that?
Yes, it will count towards lawful residence. So when we say lawful residence under the rules, lawful residence under paragraph 6 of the immigration rules is defined as any residence that is lawful within the rules, which means that at the time you are living here, your residence was granted by the Home Office. So if they gave you 2 years till, let's say, 2024 December, and 2024 December, you make an application just before it expires, and they keep it till 2028, all that period will count towards your lawful resident. What breaks lawful residence is absence of more than 2 years, imprisonment during the time that you are on the visa, and those are the two instances where your lawful residence could be broken.
Right. Well, folks, you can't get it anywhere better than here. So I want you to make a date to come and join us again on our next edition, which will be next Saturday. But before we go, let me go back to my quiz and ask the question. This man, Kwekwenanse, traveled from Ghana on November 5, 2020, with Ama Hofe, a French national partner. His passport was stamped by an immigration officer at Heathrow Airport stating that he was admitted to the United Kingdom under the Immigration Regulations 2016. The immigration officer said Kweku had satisfied her that he was in a durable relationship with an EEA national. Kweku then subsequently made an application for EU pre-settlement status. The application was refused because they said he did not have a specified document and that the stamp in his passport was a mistake. What will be the likely outcome if Kwekwenanse appeals? An appeal will be allowed because the immigration officer was satisfied that he was a durable partner. The appeal will be dismissed because the Home Office is not bound by that mistake. And 3, the appeal will be allowed because Kweku is in a genuine relationship. What's your answer? Kick it off and let's see who got or who will get the right answer. The appeal will be dismissed because the Home Office is not bound by the mistake. That's number 2. Derek Ebwa says so. I know other people will be coming in. You can text it to us as well, 0739920848, or send a WhatsApp 0795042270, or leave it in the comment section below, either on Facebook or YouTube. Fifi, you're on YouTube. I can see a lot of activity on YouTube as well. Thank you very much, those liking the page. Yes, you're doing as good with our algorithm and it's looking real good. By the way, we want to keep you there so we can have a discussion. We can have new people coming in to enjoy and benefit from the knowledge that we share here on the program. So keep liking the page, sharing is another thing I would ask you to do. And click on the notification button so that when we put up any content, you will be notified. And of course, when you are watching, click on the like button. Click, 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 click. You could win a prize, you know. So who else comes in with an answer? Let's see. Is there anybody on there? Because I'm going to ask Uncle Ben to help us unravel this. What is the likely outcome if Kwekwenanse appeals? Uncle.
Well, I mean, we know the answer. The answer is two, but this is for education, so that people understand their rights and their duties. First of all, when you're coming as an EU national family member or durable partner, you are not a family member. You are an extended family member. And as an extended family member, the law says that you should have been an extended family member on at least even at the time of the withdrawal from the EU, that is the 31st of December. To show that you were an extended family member, you have to have some evidence, which is called a specified evidence, which includes a vignette, a family permit, or limited leave to remain, or 5-year residence. And therefore, the answer is to the mistake was made by the immigration officer in the same way that they've given your friend's children the spouse visa. That mistake can be corrected, and they will correct it. They are not bound by the court said.
Well, with that, we come to the end of our very healthy discussion and journey this afternoon. We look at how to run a successful construction business and also to apply for a certificate of sponsorship to bring in workers from outside of the UK. We have Nana Janine of St. Maya Dry Mining Company to help us look at good practice, I mean. And the advice has been that you should be able to get a legal person to look at that. And BWF Solicitors does that so very well. They have introduced the MOT service for all these things. So you can go through the pre-test before the UKVI comes in to take you through the compliance audit. But before we draw the curtains now, I'll give Uncle Ben the moment to give us a summary of what we looked at, and then we can say goodbye.
So what we've looked at today is that if you want to have a stable workforce, the government is open the avenue for you to be able to recruit here and outside. You need to put in some systems, which includes your HR system, your recording system. You must have a robust system in place which will ensure that you understand the UK laws, you know what a pension is, the entitlement to sick leave, and all those things. You've got job description, which fits the bill, and that you know that the codes under 5312, 5315, 5319, 5320, they all come under the shortage occupation, and therefore the rates that you pay is slightly lower than the normal 26,400. What we say is that if you want to recruit, you want to get a sponsorship license, you must always have a robust system in place. And that robust system is not only running your business properly, but also running the system that the Home Office will give you to you. In the sense that if you breach the law, they will take away the sponsorship license, which means that your staff will have to be sent home. Thank you very much.
Stay safe, stay on the right side of the law, do it right, get the right resource people to help you. I've always said, and I'll repeat, that it is always best for a layman to give his job for an artisan to do for him or her. And a word to the wise is always enough. I would advise you to visit BWF Solicitors for all your legal issues, immigration, professional issues about your employment, issues about property here in the UK and back home in Ghana. BWF Solicitors 0208 493 7340. And they are proud sponsors for the program, The Community and the Law, brought to you by BWTV. We'll be back same time next week for another edition, and we'll be bringing a very interesting discussion. Remember, we'll be doing a quiz as well, so get your lucky hearts on so you could stand a chance of winning a return ticket to Accra, or the £200 cash, or the third prize, which is the £100 prize, and other consolation prizes. Remember, all terms and conditions will apply. My name is Reku. Thank you very much for being part of the show. On behalf of my production team, of Professor Ade, my studio producer and director, Sheila Ankra and Padma Dodu for the aesthetics, to the BWF Solicitors family here in the UK and back home in Accra, we want to say Merry Christmas in advance, be good, and God bless you. I'll see you again, same time next week. And I'll leave you with this wonderful song.